Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and I gotta tell you, this is a rather positive piece from Forbes. I know some of the stuff that comes out from Forbes, not so Ripple and or XRP friendly, but this not so much the case. It's pretty positive, and so this one's titled "Selling Blockchain to Enterprises: How Ripple and Others Make Money." Now, not surprisingly, since Ripple was cited in the title of this piece, that's a huge chunk of what's discussed here, so I'm going to pick through the parts where specifically the author is writing about Ripple. And then I'm going to contrast this, once this is done, with brand new news here. I'll just pull it up right now. This is from Cointelegraph. Lisk's light curve lays off 40% of workforce to decrease overhead. So, and look, it's like a... I'm not trying to make light of people losing their jobs, just to be clear. Like, that's a very scary. If you ever lost a job, that's a very scary, not fun time. But the point that I'm ultimately going to make, and I'm going to run through some specifics here. It's just the idea that Ripple has an absolute war chest as it pertains to the amount of money that they have. It's a veritable war chest. And it comes down to the fact that what they're doing has real-world utility. That's why they're able to. That's why they're in the position that they are financially. They're absolutely providing something of genuine value to the world, and it is being recognized, even if slower than what us in the XRP community would really like as it pertains to the price action of XRP. Fine, but it's still happening. And it's not for other crypto projects, because most of the other projects out there, they're theories, they're nice ideas. It's maybe perhaps one day type of things. But as it pertains to Ripple and XRP, no. You're talking about commercial production today. Commercial production utilizing XRP as a bridge currency for over a year now. It's completely night and day. So I'm going to jump in here, but before we go any further, if you would please delicately tap that like button, and if you are a fan of Ripple and XRP, I think you're a cool person, but I'll think you're even cooler if you subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel. You don't want me to think you're not cool, right? Come on, man. All right, the blockchain technology that appeared in 2008 with the introduction of Bitcoin is developing approximately 5 times as quickly as the internet did. It even went through its boom and bust periods more rapidly than the dot-com mania did. And I cited that too, and that's a fascinating thing, because if you think about the dot-com boom and bust, there was one huge ramp up. I mean, there were little peaks and valleys on the way up. I'm not saying there weren't, but there was the massive one, the really, really massive one, where it got up to 6 trillion or whatever the hell it was, and then it plummeted, and then that was it, and then it was just more reasonable price action as it pertained to internet stocks and internet companies from there on out. That's not what you've seen in the world of crypto there. You've seen massive rallies, massive downfalls, 80 to 90%, like 4 or 5 times over the last decade. Very fascinating. Anyway, today the ICO hype is over, and just like with the dot-com bubble, we've seen many companies fail. Many hope to see revolutionary Google-like and Amazon-like blockchain-based solutions appear from the surviving startups. Some of the venture capitalists who have influenced the internet boom, such as Mark Andreessen from Andreessen Horowitz and Timothy Draper from Draper Associates, share this hope for the blockchain industry. Enterprise software is estimated to be a $457 billion market in 2019, and blockchain solutions will eat part of it. Given the blockchain market fatigue that we are noticing, where do we stand with the significant technological revolution that the true blockchain enthusiasts have promised? Oh, yes, where indeed? Where is their real utility? Well, that's where I say a better look at Ripple. So check this out. Here's where they get the Ripple. I had to scroll down a little bit here. I like the subheading too, which states, "Are you obsessed with blockchain?" Yes. While it seems great that so many blockchain and cryptocurrency enthusiasts obsessively support the new distributed ledger technology, Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, points out that the obsession is unhealthy. Don't tell me I'm being unhealthy, Brad. Be my friend, like me. Too many people believe that distributed ledgers alone can be a solution for every obstacle. However, before that can happen, the customer's specific problem must be clearly defined. Garlinghouse pointed out, what's missing in the crypto ecosystem is a customer fixation. he went further to outline that a common question running around Silicon Valley today is, are you a technology in search of a problem or a problem in search of technology? Early on, Ripple realized that its innovation and brilliance would fall short without successful sales and a focus on one product, which, in the company's case, became a business-to-business settlement product for banks. Fortunately, Chris Larson, executive chairman of Ripple's board of directors, and Brad Garlinghouse were able to think of a way for the blockchain tech to work with large enterprises successfully. Of course, finding a fit between the service and the customer is tricky. One needs to clearly communicate an existing problem that his or her company's technology resolves. In Ripple's case, the firm first offered a settlement solution to its institutional clients, banks, to help them decrease the amount of time needed for cross-border transactions. Then Ripple introduced these clients to its on-demand liquidity service, which involved the use of XRP cryptocurrency to help them solve a long-standing liquidity-related problem. Now, that's technically incorrect. They used the wrong word there, but I'm not going to hammer the author on this because they're trying to get the truth out, and it is obviously a pro XRP, pro Ripple piece here. But here's the part they got wrong there. In Ripple's case, the firm first offered a settlement solution to its institutional clients. What she should have written was they offered a payment solution, and that would be the messaging portion previously known as xCurrent, now just broadly known as RippleNet, which really now RippleNet, it's not just xCurrent, it's the suite of all Ripple products. That would be xCurrent, xRapid, and xVia. It's all just now known as RippleNet. In addition to that, of course, though, the only other technology they're parsing out, which is part of RippleNet, is ODL, on-demand liquidity, utilizing XRP, of course. But the rest of that sentence was spot on there. Let me scroll down a little bit further here and get to some more. Where's the rest of the Ripple stuff? I feel like I just passed it. Oh, yeah, here we go. All right. Brad Garlinghouse outlined how Ripple's key performance metrics changed from the number of contracts to actual product deployment, and finally to the volume of transactions. Now, I got to tell you, that's a rather natural evolution, and it's so cool they got to the point where they we need to change the metrics that we're tracking specifically to volume, and that's an indicator of actual success. Anyway, and then it continues. It was not enough for Ripple to announce that well-known banks were signing agreements with the company. Deployment and getting started on generating a large volume of transactions are very important, which I realize with my own company now. These steps need just as much persistence and work, if not more, as prospecting leads does. And so ultimately, of course, Ripple makes cross-border payments shorter and cheaper. And in the age of globalization, liquidity is vital for many people who send money to their families overseas and make critical investments abroad for education on properties. And so, excellent piece, right? It's just, because look, Forbes, their audience is not purely crypto, and so this is just another little another little piece of the puzzle, getting out to the general public, explaining what is actually going on here. And it was funny. So I came across this positive piece. Here's how I actually came across it. It was from a tweet from Mike Dudas. Dudas, I don't know how he says his name, and he's CEO of The Block Crypto. I've covered some of their articles in the past, but I don't like their pop-ups. There's always these pop-ups. It's annoying, especially as a content creator. Anyway, but here's what he retweeted that Forbes piece. Here's what he wrote, though. Ripple makes money by dumping hundreds of millions of XRP tokens on the market every quarter. Any other explanation is window dressing. Okay, well, they make some money selling XRP, fine. They had plenty of funding even prior to that, back when XRP had no value. Even so, it's not just that. Look, as the ecosystem expands, as volumes make it reasonable to do so, they'll sell more XRP because the ecosystem will need more XRP. You may think 100 billion sounds like a lot. Not so much. Not if you're talking about solving a global problem, then other developers solving other problems, building on top of the XRP ledger. No, 100 billion isn't actually so much at that particular point, but it's just another instance of Ripple getting picked on because they're super duper transparent with their XRP holdings, which they were gifted, by the way. They can do whatever the hell they want with their damn XRP. It's none of your business, Mike Dudas. Like, for instance, how much ETH does the Ethereum Foundation hold? How much are they selling? How much are they dumping on the market? Do we even know that? That's just, it's the second largest cryptocurrency in terms of market cap, right? That's what we're told. So how much? But no, it's just Ripple getting picked on because both Bitcoin maxis and people with an ideological bend don't like how XRP is being positioned to help the legacy banking system and improve it, really just can entirely rework the plumbing. They don't like that, so gotta say stuff like that, right? There you go. Now take a look at this, though. Lisk's light curve lays off 40% of workforce to decrease overheads. And yeah, and it's like, I'm saying that I'm going to cover this not to make light of this or not to say, yeah, screw everybody else, because I do want other projects to succeed. Absolutely, I really do. And I think that utility is going to be just the driving force behind determining what cryptocurrencies are here to stay. But this is a cryptocurrency project that's having trouble here. And I just wanted to just kind of contrast it against the wild success that Ripple's having based on the fact that they're solving real problems. So a blockchain development studio Lightcurve, a part of the Lisk open source blockchain application platform, laid off 40% of its workforce earlier this week. Lightcurve and Lisk co-founder Max Kordek announced the decision earlier this week on Discord, citing a need for the project to cut costs. The job losses represent 21 of Lightcurve's 53 employees, and in addition, the project has canceled the contracts of 3 employees who were set to join. Kordek said that the firm would focus on keeping talent in the research, back-end development, and developer relations departments while downsizing front-end development, marketing, design, and operations. And here's a quote from Kordek. "The reasons were to decrease our burn rate, which by a large degree consisted of human resources costs, and to decrease our operational overhead in order to become more agile again." And the remaining 32 employees will continue to focus on building the Lisk platform from Lightcurve's Berlin-based offices. So it's not a fun thing for stuff like this to occur, but there's all sorts of crazy new ventures out there. I don't mean that like a pejorative way, but just there's all sorts of wild ideas out there in blockchain. A lot of them are theories, and inevitably a lot of them are going to go bust. It's the same thing you saw during the dot-com boom and bust cycle. And so, again, like I say, it's not fun for people to lose jobs. I'm not happy that's happening. I'd rather there just be a bunch of successes in addition to Ripple. But it makes me feel that much more confidence in XRP, just the fact that there's real development on top of the XRP ledger, specifically utilizing the native digital asset XRP, and you just don't see that kind of adoption with other projects. You really don't. So if you think utility matters, just saying. Now here's a tweet. Well, it's really a tweet thread I'm going to share with you because I mostly like it. I really do. Like maybe I like all of it. I read it this morning. Maybe I did like all of it. Probably, actually. But it was written by Dean. He's at XRP Dean on Twitter, and he tagged me along with some of my fellow XRP YouTubers and community members here. So I just want to run through this because I like this. This is a non-hype channel, and this kind of gets at the heart of what I don't like, which is too much hype. I'm okay with reasonable speculation, but if there's just blatant hype for the sake of it, I'm not so much a fan of that. So here it begins. This is by Dean, again, at XRP Dean. "We, the XRP community, need to stop trying to make sense out of things that have not and possibly are not happening. Having money invested in as something so new is clearly causing these predictions/conspiracy theories to seem believable to some." And you can see he's got a little bearable guy picture right there. "Not knowing what will happen or what is happening is normal. Resorting to overanalyzing eyeballs of a bear will not help you at all. Never should any part of your investment plan be tied to hopium. If you decide to buy more XRP, do not do it because of a cryptic tweet. The future, something out of our control, will only reveal any of your questions, not an individual who enjoys playing with the emotions of naive and vulnerable investors. Same applies to price predictions. Anyone can give one, but time will only verify it. Let's pretend that the moon cycles and pictures of a bear are 100% accurate. Because the bear's eyes opened, we will have XXX dollar amounts of XRP on X date. This cannot be certain to any degree. How does it help? Since we can't know anything for certain, this doesn't help at all. Save yourself some sanity and potentially money, and stay objective with your buying or selling. Obviously, speculation is involved, but it shouldn't be based on cryptic tweets. Stick to fundamentals. But then again, who's to say I'm correct? Gotta love uncertainty. Look, I like that thread. I can appreciate that because I'm always just looking for the truth, and I'm not looking to make buying and selling decisions based on, well, first, certainly not emotion, but also not wild speculation. And so I can get down with this Twitter thread there. I hope you guys are also on board conceptually. But yeah, all the bearable guy stuff and nonsense with riddles and this and that, to me, it's pure silliness. And no offense to you if you're into that type of thing. It's just, I just have a different opinion in that case. But to me, I just want the cold hard facts, and that's what I like to report here. If anything is anything other than that, I will cite it as speculation and be clear that it is not intended to hype up the space. But anyway, that's it for this video. I'm not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!